Namaste and welcome back to Awakened Heart Yoga with Premaloka. So I have another of our Shine Bright series for you today, and we're going to focus on side bending, lateral side bends. So some of you might ask why side bend, and I'll give you a few of what I would consider the fundamental reasons and benefits to side bend. So obviously we open up when we laterally side bend through the ribs. We expand through the ribs and stretch the muscles of the ribs, which are the intercostals. So we're strengthening and supporting and creating space for the abdominal organs and the flow of energy in these. We're very importantly giving expansion to our lungs and our diaphragm, and this is so important with our pranayama, with our breathing. So side bends are absolutely fantastic to do before a big pranayama practice. When we strengthen and move into these lateral side bends, we're also compressing and stretching the deep muscles of the spine, and this helps to lubricate the discs. So those are just a few of the quick, because we haven't got much time, quick benefits of side bending, and I'll put up some more on the blurb about the video. So let's start moving. We're going to start standing up today. So bring the feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to, as we always do, start with coming to the breath. But before we do, we're just going to take a deep breath and lengthen through the body. We're going to draw the navel in towards the spine, rotate the tailbone slightly under, drop the shoulders away from the ears. So relax off, the legs are straight, but don't lock your knees in place. Just relax a little bit through the knees. Drop the arms down by the sides, close the eyes, and start taking some deep inhalations and exhalations. As you breathe in deeply of the prana moving up through the belly, and then expanding through the diaphragm and the rib cage, pushing on up and through to the head space, the chitakasha, and then exhale and send the prana all the way down through the body. Side bends, we allow the sternum and the collarbones to lift, and this in itself helps to widen through the diaphragm and increase the rate or the length and the depth of your breath. After the next exhalation, slowly cast the gaze down towards the floor and open the eyes. Step the feet just slightly wider than hip width apart. The toes can be slightly turned out or forward facing, it's up to you. And we're going to breathe in, lift the left arm alongside the ears, and as we exhale, we're going to just let the right hand travel down towards the knee. We're going to swivel the torso slightly towards the sky and come into this lovely little side bend. Inhale, we're going to come up and we're going to lengthen all the way through, and exhale, lower the right arm down, left arm down, sorry. Inhale, we're going to lift the right arm this time alongside the ear, tuck it in. We're going to lengthen and we're going to come down, let the left arm travel down the left side. We're going to Swivel the torso, open it up towards the sky, and let your gaze come up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, float the arm back down by the sides. Inhale, the left arm alongside the ears. Exhale, we move the hips over towards the left. We draw the navel in. The right arm floats down the outside of the leg. Rotate the torso or swivel the torso to the sky. Let the ribs float apart and breathe in deeply. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower the left, and we'll come back to the right. Inhale, lengthen, and push the hips this time over to the right. The left arm floats or travels down the left leg. The right arm alongside the ear. Swivel the torso to the sky. Completely open up. It's lateral bend, space between the ribs. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale, lower the arms. Okay, so we're going to widen the legs out a little bit more. And we're going to come into a wide angled bend, but it's going to be a little bit of a difference. We're going to hug over to one side. Please feel free that if it's not comfortable for you to have straight legs during this forward bend, that it's all good to bend your legs. You know, don't feel that there's pressure to keep your legs straight. And even if your legs are straight, please don't lock the knees in and push back through the back of the knees. So draw in now, length on an inhale. Legs are only as wide as is comfortable for you. Draw the navel back. We're going to pivot forward from the hips and come down to begin with to where it's comfortable to just hang. So rotate the tailbone up towards the sky. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Feel free to have a few little bouncing motions as you relax into it. If your knees are bent, that's all good. Or straight but not locked. And then we're going to walk the hands over towards the left. We're going to take hold of the left ankle and we're going to rotate. So what we do is we draw down with the right hand as if we're pulling around, and we open up the rib cage up under the left hand. So we're opening up through the right rib cage, but we're expanding fully, through the left, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied, but we're expanding fully through the right. And the head comes down towards the knee, and the gaze is cast to the sky. Inhale, we're going to walk back to the center with our hands, we're going to hang low again. Rotate the tailbone towards the sky. And then we're coming over, we're latching the left hand on the ankle, on the right ankle, and then the right hand joins, and then we draw. So once again, now our fulcrum is our left hand on the right ankle. We pull down, we start to swivel the rib cage open, and we're expanding fully through the left rib cage this time. Although the right is open as well, but we're feel the full expansion all the way through from the shoulder girdle down to the hip on the left side. Inhale, walk the hands back. And what we do here is we're just going to bend the knees, a good bend into the knees. We're going to cup the elbows if it feels comfortable. Rotate the rotate the tailbone. And just hang here for a moment. Hands to the floor. If it's comfortable, we're going to widen a little bit further than would normally be comfortable for us when we're up standing. Feel free to have the knees bent, and we're going to come down onto the elbows, and then we're going to bring the elbows over towards one foot, expand through the ribs. If it's comfortable, the forearms are on the floor, and then walk over towards the opposite side. We bring our forearms in towards the foot and expand through the ribs again. Full expansion this time through the left side of the ribs, and then walking back. Before we come up, walk your feet back into where it feels comfortable. Turn your toes out. Drop the hips towards the floor. Draw the navel in, and then push up, and we'll slowly come up to standing. Walk the feet back in together. Legs all the way together, knees together, bend, drop a little bit. Inhale, arms alongside the ears. Exhale, over to one side. Inhale, drop a little bit lower. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to drop all the way down to the floor. So I'm going to ask you to come down comfortably and safely onto the floor. And we're going to move into some Janu Shirshasana, some angled side forward bending. We're going to start with the right leg extended and the left heel drawn up in towards the groin. We're going to move straight into it. We're going to inhale, reach for the sky, exhale, pivot forward from the hips. Once again, we're going to latch this time outside edge of the right foot with the right hand, and we're going to draw the rib cage down towards so that our right rib cage is in a line with our right leg, and we're going to open up through the left. And then if you want to change the angle, you can bring your hand onto the inside of the right leg and draw down and open up a little bit more as you draw your head down towards the knee. Just inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to ask you to hold that for just a few breaths. Relax in. If you find it hard to come down to hold on to your foot, that's all good. You can come down, you can hold on to anywhere on the leg. A lot of us mightn't have the length or flexibility to come down all the way to the foot. So just feel free to take hold wherever it's comfortable for you. The most important thing is that we're open and stretching through the ribs. So if we're only holding on to the shin or the knee, even behind the thigh, it's all good. On your next inhalation, I'm going to ask you to release and slowly come all the way back up to upright. And we're just going to pop the knee back in, and we're going to come to the other side. So I'm going to bring my right heel in, and I'm going to lengthen through my left leg. And I'm going to inhale upright, exhale, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to latch onto the outside of my left foot with my left arm and draw. I'm opening up through the ribs, and my left ribs are coming down towards the thigh. If you're up here, because this is as far as your forward bend goes, that's all good. Take hold wherever you can. Use your leg as your fulcrum, pivot a little bit, open up all the way through the right rib cage. Just draw down as much as you can. It may not feel comfortable or possible for you to come all the way down. If it does, and you want to swap where you're gripping the leg and draw down a little further, you can also bring your the opposing arm all the way over and take hold and draw the head down and open up fully. You'll feel a widening and lengthening all the way through the ribs, once again from the shoulder girdle down to the hip. And I'll ask you to hold that for a few more breaths. before coming up to upright. So just take another 1 or 2 full inhalations and exhalations. One more inhalation and draw down a little bit further. And exhale. And release. When you release, release the hands and slowly walk the spine all the way back up. So we're going to come into a angled Parivriti Janu Shirshasana. So we're going to start with the left leg drawn into the groin and the right leg this time. So the left leg is drawn in and it's just popped out a little bit of an angle towards the left, and the right leg is nice and long through the center of the mat. And if you can, it's reasonably straight. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up through the left ribs and come down into a bend along the right leg. And we'll play around a little bit with our hands once again, as if for some of us who want to draw down a little bit lower. So we're going to inhale, extend the hands up, and to begin with we're going to exhale, and we're just going to float the left hand down towards the right foot. If you come in contact with the toes, that's all good. If you don't and you're further up, then the hand just comes alongside the ears. We rotate or swivel the torso to the sky once again, and the right hand can just stay poised or resting on the left thigh. Now if you'd like to reposition your hands and come down a little bit further, then you can bring your right hand in to the heel of the right foot, and you can take hold of the top of the foot with your left hand. Don't forget to rotate and open through the torso, and then draw the rib cage or the side of the waist down alongside the thigh. And the gaze can be straight ahead or it can be up towards the sky. And when it's time to come out, breathe in and out deeply. Soften through the waist, the side of the waist, the side waist. And then release the hands and slowly come all the way back up to upright. Draw the navel in towards the spine. And I release usually off the extended foot. Bring both feet in. Wrap them and hug them in nice and tight to the chest. And then I place the heels to the buttocks or towards the buttocks, and then I move into the opposite side. So now my right heel is coming in to the groin and my left leg is coming out along the mat. So my left leg this time is nice and straight through the center line of the mat. My heel is tucked into the groin, and I'm going to start in exactly the same way. I'm going to inhale both arms towards the sky, and then I'm going to drop my left arm towards my right thigh, and I'm going to bring my right arm down over the left leg. I'm going to take hold of my feet, but if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, then your arm can just rest alongside the ears, and I'm going to draw my head down towards the knee. Now as I come down, I'm going to make sure that my side waist is in alignment with my extended leg, and that my right rib cage is extended and opened. Once again, I swivel through the torso swiveling to the sky. And now I'm going to reposition my arms. So I'm going to take hold of my ankle and my heel, or my toes and my heel. I'm going to bring my left arm in and place it under the heel, right arm alongside the ears, and lower through the waist along the extended leg. Holding and breathing deeply. I'm going to ask you to hold for another couple of breaths. When it is time to come out, you will release the hands. You can use the hands to help you walk all the way back up to upright. Just take your time, please stay in the pose for another breath or two if that feels comfortable. And you'll deepen on the in-breath, you'll extend on the in-breath, and then you'll release on your out-breath. Walk the hands back up, and you will push into the sit bones, lift the extended leg, bring it back in towards a cross-legged pose, and then hug both knees in towards the chest. Bring proper alignment back into the hips before you release. And then release the legs out long in front of you. So that is a few side bending postures, and we're going to end with one more. There is an advanced bound gate pose, which I might add as a separate video to this, so watch out. If you feel that you would like a little bit more extension, I'll add that as a separate 5-minute video to explore it. So we're going to end with one more quick little side bend, and this one is from the warrior pose. So we're just going to move through it really quickly because we're running out of time. I'm going to come to ask you to stand as you would for warrior 2 pose, wide-legged, as wide as is comfortable for you, outside angle to the outside edge of the left leg. Our leading leg is going to be the right. Pivot the hips towards the front. Draw the navel in. The heel and the instep are in line. And we're simply going to sweep the right arm up alongside the right ear and laterally bend over towards the left. Draw up through the adductor muscles, rotating them towards each other, so turning the insides of the thighs in, strong through the right knee, which is stacked over the right ankle. Bend as low as feels comfortable for you, and you'll hold that for a couple of breaths. Longer if you have longer. Open fully through the right rib cage, expand, deepen the breath, and then inhale, push into the bent knee. Both feet swivel back to forward facing, and we're just literally going to sweep around to the opposite side. So we just change the angles of the feet. We're aligned once again, automatically almost. Bend into your leading knee, which this time is your left. Hips are facing to the side or the front of the room, and lifting up with the left arm alongside the ear, and the right arm floats down the right leg this time. Bend in as far as is comfortable for you. Remember to keep the knee stacked over the ankle, the navel drawn in, outside edge of the back foot strong. Breathing in and exhaling out. If you have more time at home, feel free to hold the poses a little bit longer. Swivel both feet in, push off from one side to the next, and drop all the way down to your knees. So now to really feel the benefits of the side bending sequence that we've just done, we're going to end with just a couple of minutes of pranayama. So come to sit if it's comfortable in Vajrasana, with the buttocks over the heels, the spine is straight, shoulders dropped away from the ears. Close the eyes. Settle into the breath. Inhale and exhale fully. Notice the difference, and there will be a difference of how deeply you can breathe, how open you are through the rib cage, the diaphragm, space between the collarbones and the sternum, and just breathe deeply in and out. We're simply going to focus on the spine. Focus on 12 full inhalations and exhalations, drawing the prana up through Sushumna, through the center of the spine, activating the chakras as we go. We have an awareness of Muladhara, which is just below and 2 inches out from the tailbone, and then we come back to Swadhisthana and we draw these deep breaths up. Swadhisthana to Manipura, Anahata to Vishuddhi to Agnya, out to Sahasrara through the crown of the head, and then all the way back down. Just keep the in breath and the out breath flowing and full. If you're familiar with the chakras, then feel free to bring in some color. Start off with crimson at Muladhara and orange as you hit the tailbone, up to yellow behind the navel, blue behind the sternum, Anahata, mauve, purple, Vishuddhi, pit of the throat, silver, Agnya in between the ears, deep crimson or red or light coloured above Sahasrara, crown of the head, and then all the way back down. So if you've got a few more minutes, then please feel free to just continue on as you are. If you need to move on, then feel free to let go of the breathing practice whenever you're ready. To really feel the full benefits of this practice, then please consider doing one of the pranayams that I have loaded already for you. If not, if it's time to go for you today, then I would like to say Namaste and Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much for joining me.